Hey everybody, this is Nem, and this is going to be my day one guide to M5S. Sorry it took so long. Basically, I got trapped in PF and couldn't find my way out if my life depended on it. We're going to mute it because I didn't mute my mic, and I don't want you guys hearing how salty I get. So we're going to mute the video and just do the thing. So, I don't know. Hopefully nothing. Okay. Beginning of the poll, pretty easy fight, but can be a little tricky to figure out. On poll, you get a tank buster, so let's watch this tank buster together, everyone. Let's watch it. It's pretty straightforward. It's called deep cut. It's supposed to cut deeply, and the tanks go, oh no, and then they spread out, or they stack. I don't know. I see people do different things. Sometimes they spread, sometimes they stack. I don't think they're supposed to stack. But then we get flip to B side. Now, flip to B side is part of two mechanics. There's B side and A side. A side is roll stacks, and B side is party stacks. Group 2 south, group 1 north, DPS south, tanks north, right? Whoops, I reset 5 minutes. So we got B side. That's going to be party stacks. And then we got 4 twist, drop the needle. He's going to do 4, bing, bam, boom, bam, and then AoE the other half of the arena. You'll see it. It's pretty standard, just like normal. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4. He can do that 2 times, 3 times, or 4 times, and then he's going to flip to B side, so party stacks in this case, right? Light parties. Boom, easy, right? So now you get to see the other side of it, roll stacks instead. Maybe it's 2, 3, 4. This is a recurring mechanic. You're going to see it a lot, so don't get too hung up on it. 2 snap, twist and drop the needle. Timing's a little bit different. 1, 2, slide over. And then this is roll stack. See, the healers are east, the tanks are north, and all the important people are south. Then we have a raid wide. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Gotta get past that raid wide. We don't want to deal with that. That's a load of baloney. And then we get the first actual hard mechanic of the fight called Disco Inferno. Now, Disco Inferno, we need to talk about it because there's a lot of ways people are doing this, and there's one generally good way, in my opinion, and that is to use the outside circles for ranged and the inside safe spots for melee. See how there's a like a glowy thing, like a glowy circle right here, right? There's inside safe spots, and then see how there's a glowy circle. It's kind of dim by the 3 marker. That's in a danger spot. The way that we tell for ranged players is a lot easier than melee players because ranged players are static. Melee players have a little bit of flexing, and the reason why is because we get these debuffs that have different timers. So 21 seconds versus 29 seconds, right? It doesn't matter if you're a healer or ranged what your debuff timer is. We have it pretty easy. So if you're group 2, right, we're going to have the 3 marker, and then on the opposite side, the 1 marker. So we just stay east in group 2, and for the other team, if it's the fizz ranged and the healer, right, it's going to be like the 4 marker and the 1 marker. So we have 2 and 3, they have 1 and 4, right? Just that's it. So on this 3 marker, this is the safe spot. We know it's always the safe spot for group 2 because it started dangerous. It's orange, you can't stand there, but the circle is there. That's how you know that's the safe spot. And how this mechanic works is burn baby burn requires you to be standing in a spotlight and not sharing the spotlight because you're a diva, right? You can't share it with anybody else. It's just for you. So you're going to stand in the spotlight. It's your time to shine, right, when your debuff is about to expire. And the timing on it is a little weird. We'll get into that. For the melee players, they have 2 safe spots each. There's a raid plan going around that will show it a little bit better than I can, but it's the same concept. Let's pretend that these 2, like where this circle is and this empty spot, right? Let's pretend those are the 2 melee safe spots. They're not because we're in the healer range quadrant, but in a melee quadrant, right? One is going to be for a short timer and one is going to be for the long timer player, right? Because what can happen is you can try to soak the spotlight, but it's on an orange circle and you die, right? So that's the difficulty with Disco Infernal's burn baby burn mechanic. So this is how it works. But on top of that, again, Funky Floor is alternating these tiles, dangerous, not dangerous. That's really the difficulty. And then there's one added element to it. So we're flipping back and forth, and then we see inside out. So my debuff is at 23 seconds, right? And you can see like the melee, you can see UR and RW over here, like positioning for the safe spots. RW's a range, so they're not actually going to stand there, but that is technically, at the moment, like one of the melee spots. So anyways, my point being, right, is that inside out is happening. We just do the opposite. We say, you don't tell me what to do, boss. I do my own thing. You say to go in then out. I say to go out then in, right? So we're just going to go out first onto a safe square. Then we're going to find a safe square on the inside. This is my favorite one. And then we're going to go handle our debuff. I've got 13 seconds left. My partner has less than that, I think. And so what's going to happen is I'm going to slide in here with them just for a second, just to dodge the bad square, but then I'm going to get out. And he's going to have the spotlight all to himself. That's not really important. I think you can share the spotlight with someone whose debuff isn't expiring, but if two people try to cleanse their debuff with the spotlight at the same time, it's not going to work. So then I do it, it's my turn, and you see the weird timing, right? At 4 seconds on my timer, this is a bad square, and that's how I know it's a good square, right? It's going to be good because at 4 seconds, it's bad, right? That's how you know. So anyways, ranged have it easier than melee. You can see that Viper out over there doing the long timer spot. And then we have a 4-snap twist, just like before, same exact thing, but we have squares. And then we move over, doesn't really matter, bingo bango. And then we get, I don't know, was it roll, was it not? I don't know, it happens during there, and range 2 doesn't have to worry about it. So anyways, we're moving on with our lives. We're putting ley lines down. We're doing work, and we're about to get the second difficult mechanic that people struggle with. It is a ranged melee ranged mechanic, and it supports north, and it's DPS south, and we don't care about each other. It's self-contained. All it is a personal mechanic. So what happens is he's going to be telling the frogs, the frog tirage, what to do during this mechanic. We don't care about that yet. But he's going to cast Arcady Night Fever, so you have to get it out. And it's a series of out, in, out, in, out, in, right? You know, it's like you're having a great time with someone you love. But then, on top of that, there are baits. So it's like someone threw a brick in your window while that's going on. And you don't want that, obviously. You're like, what the fuck, right? So if someone throws a brick at you, you move because you don't want them to throw a second brick at you. That would be stupid. You got to get out of the way, right? That's the whole mechanic. Everybody gets a bait. Doesn't matter. Right, we move in because we were out, and you'll see one of the DPS got an AoE. So what does he do? He moves out of the way because it does a second bait. Right, there's the second brick. You see this? It's kind of hard to tell because everything's glowing, but we'll see it better in a second. So we're in, we're out. See, now this is my brick. Right, I got a brick right now. So if I just move in for the donut, I will die. I have to move in for the donut and get out of the way, and then I got to go back to my spot to get out of the way of somebody else. See, like if I would have stayed there. This is a great example. I would have died to that Viper's cleave. I went to the Viper to get out of the way of my second cleave, and then I went back. I went back home because I can't leave my loved ones unattended. I gotta go home. They want me there, right? So go home. Like, go to the grocery store, pick up your goods, remember to go home. And then we do the dance, right? Because it's our favorite activity. So we're doing, this analogy is awful. So anyways, we're doing the mechanics. And once it's all done, you can tell it's all done because everything goes away and one last cleave is out. And all the frog dudes have lit up. Now, it's pretty much, he looks left, he attacks left. He looks right, he attacks right. But we all have debuffs now. Alpha and beta debuffs that have timers. It's exactly like a million other fights in this game. But if you don't know, it's a pair. You got to bring A and B together, and they're going to get married in the middle of the boss's hitbox. Now, let me tell you, there are other strategies out there that are way more error prone, and people struggle to learn. And in a perfect world, it would be a better strat. But in practice, it doesn't work out that way because people. So what we do instead is we rely on strategies we already know from the last raid tier. That is the smartest thing to do because a lot of people are familiar with the last raid tier. So let's utilize their already gained knowledge. We're just going to get out of the middle of the boss's hitbox. And when it's time to make a marriage happen, you and your partner go into the middle of the hitbox. Problem is, we're going to have room-wide cleaves at the same time, right? Room-wide cleaves. So it works like this, right? What number am I? I'm like the shortest timer. This is a great example. Shortest timer. We're going to have a couple of room-wide cleaves from the frogs. Left. And the reason why we do it in the middle of the hitbox is most importantly is so we can have full uptime on the boss. We can do the stack in the middle, and we can see the frogs at the same time to dodge left and right. Some people take this to Narnia all the way north, and they can't see the frogs attack the boss and do the mechanic at the same time. It's asinine. So we do it this way instead. Right? So I stack here with my partner. I see that the next dodge is left, so we're going to chill. And then we're going to move over to the right. And you saw that green pillar. That's a success. That's pretty much how it goes for the whole thing. And if everyone does everything correctly, you'll get a damage buff. Well, if you do, it's personal. If you do everything correctly, you get a damage buff. And if everyone does it correctly, doesn't get hit by any AoEs, and creates the marriage of A and B, right? Creates like a happy family over there. Bingo bango. You get a tax refund in the form of DPS. Perfect groove. We're there. We're making money. We're doing great stuff. We're going to buy a condo with this extra DPS. That's how good life is right now when everybody gets that perfect groove. So that's where we're at. And then we're going to go on to the next mechanic. And he's going to telegraph flip to A side. I don't pay attention to that stuff as caster too. But we do have ride the waves. So this is the Tetris mechanic. And how the Tetris mechanic works is you can see there's a safe lane. We get in the safe lane. And there's multiple ways people do this. In this group, it's melee and tanks north, healer and ranged go south. Personally, that's lower DPS. Like, that's not what people are going to do when this starts getting like farmed for parses. They're going to do melees south and healer and ranged north for uptime. And you'll see why. But in the middle of this Tetris lane, you get in a safe lane, safe fire lane. Then you get quarter beats, or you get eighth beats, right? Quarter beats is just a partner stack because they're like quarter notes, right? It's a music thing. And then look, bingo bango. And then you're gonna spread. How you spread is different. They have it easier down here. They can stay in the safe lane, but you'll see that these guys over there, sometimes they have to back up because a new Tetris piece, this is an L, is gonna wipe out this tank unless he does the unthinkable. Boom, he's out of there. Look at that. So anyways, that's why we'll put the boss south, and the melees will attack the boss south in the end result of PF, because it's more damage. And what does PF want to do? They want to do more damage sometimes. So in the meantime, we are good to go. We are going to do our dodge, and then he does an in and out. We're familiar with in and out, but now the Tetris is in the way, so just don't get clipped by it. It's still leaving. Outside in is in, then out, right? It's opposite day, April Fools and all that. And then we're going to move and do another twist and drop the needle. It's a great day for twisting. It's a great day for dropping the needle. I don't know if this is like an innuendo about like the drugs that happened, like when disco was big in the States. Maybe, I don't know. But we have another deep cut. See, I'm telling you, like needle, deep cut, it's all coming together in ways we don't want it to, and then you celebrate a good time. This might be an allegory for drug addiction. I don't know, but it just seems that way, right? Any case, ignore that I messed up my rotation, and let's take a look at now Frog Tourage. Frog Tourage has a couple of them. They work a couple of different ways. Essentially how it works is that these frogs are going roller skating up, right, and they will cut off. So there's a couple patterns. There's east and west, and there's north and south safe. You're gonna split into light parties for both. In this case, they did not lock off east. They locked off north, right? So we're going to go east and west. And at the same time, we get quarter beats or 8 beats. 8 beats is spread, so you know what to do. You got 4 squares, you spread out. Bingo, 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 bang. Look at that. Oh my God, we're doing mechanics in 2025. Get ready for another Disco Inferno, but this one is with a twist. A lot of twisting in this, right? So this one spawns 4 froggies in the middle that need to be baited, and 4 spotlights. Look at your debuff. Mine expires in 8 seconds. So I'm going to go to my clock spot. My healer, my partner, my color partner. This is the only mechanic you need color partners for. But my color partner is going to help me by baiting a cone from the frog so that I do not die. So the spotlight spawned on like northeast, and then it moves. So you got to go to the spot where it doesn't spawn. So it didn't spawn on B, so I'm going to B. Declines my buff, and then he is going to move over and bait this frog. Check this out. Look, frog-tacular. He's going to bait it to the 2 marker, right? Well, look at this. Boom! And then I'm going to bait the B frog because he just spawned away from the 2 marker because now the spotlight has moved there. And then we have a flip to B side, which again, I don't care about as a caster too, but you should probably care about, right? So then we do, twist and drop the needle. We're waiting. And, oh man, did you see how we did that slide cast? We're the best at this game, but not as good as you're going to be after watching this guy. So celebrate good times is going to happen. Easy peasy. And then we're going to do more mechanics. Now, I don't remember which mechanic is next. I think it's like the AoE cleaves. Oh no, it's second frogs. We're assembling the frogs for a second time. Now, this time it's a little different. we're doing everything to start the same, but when the frogs are all summoned, one, we don't have any A or B debuffs, so we don't have to do that part this time, but the frogs can now cleave north, south, east, and west. All of the nations are like going to war with the Fire Nation. Like, we are the Fire Nation. We're Blackmage, and everyone's trying to kill us. And that's what's going to happen with these dancing frogs in just a minute. So you do your regular baits, exactly like we did before. I wasn't sure that I was supposed to move there, and then it worked out. And then you see, check this out. Look, you can see this frog's butt jiggling at you. If you see a frog's butt jiggling at you, he's going to attack the north half of the arena. And then you just dance around, right? You just follow the order. It's a little tough at first. It's kind of fast. And that's why I think they give you the damage buff, because they kind of expect you to maybe drop some casts here, because you're trying to face north but attack the boss at the same time while being north. So it's reasonable to drop casts. So they give you a dance buff if you do it perfectly. Now, of course, in the parsing world, we're going to say that's not good enough. We want to play perfectly, perfect uptime, and get the damage buff because we're greedy, and that's okay. But now we can move on to the next mechanic. The next mechanic's going to bring out more frogs. We got to dodge some half cleave AoE type stuff. The frog tirage always coming back for more. There they are. Now look at this. This is a 3-part AoE. So this guy's going to cleave, this guy's going to cleave, and we want to dodge those. So they can be in various patterns. This is just one pattern. And then there's another one. It's a pretty easy pattern. We only had to move over to the left, right? But then the boss has a 3rd cleave. And this boss tried to kill us with it, but we got out of the way with the power of sprint. And that's just how you do that. Again, various patterns. Sometimes it's north, sometimes it's south. We'll see that mechanic again. And then we get the important one, frog tirage with the bait. So we got the middle bait frogs from earlier while we have the roller skating frogs. How do we deal this? It supports bait first. That's just what PF's doing, and then it will be DPS bait after that. So since it is supports first, we have 4 frogs, and they left this middle lane free. And I know it's hard to tell, like a lot of people struggle with this. I struggle with this, but the middle lane is free, I think. Oh wait, no, it's not. No, it's not. Perfect example. So sometimes the middle lane is free and the DPS stack in the middle and the supports point the frogs away from middle. But in this case, we have the opposite pattern where there's this double line. If you see this double line, middle is not safe and you need to be on the outside of it. So the DPS will stand in this middle area, and then the supports will go to like the 3 marker and the 4 marker, for example, to be the closest player to the frog so that it baits the AoEs away from the DPS. So check this out. And just like that, it's a beautiful day. And now it is the DPS's turn to bait, but we have to first see, is it south safe? Is it east safe? Is it middle safe? What's happening in Willy Wonka's Wild World? We see that the supports will go in the middle, and the way that we deal with this, the smart way, the easy way, is just look at the boss. We have a Viper, we have a Blackmage. Put the caster on the right, put the Viper on the left. Melee left, range right. Very, very simple, very easy. This Viper will go bait that frog. I will go. We don't have to communicate. I don't want to know what they're thinking. We're good to go. Sorry, I keep running over this windy thing, right? And so he goes left, I go right, and we're good to go. No problem. Okay, so now do the hustle. This is now the 3 AoEs from earlier, all at the same time. So we see 1 frog cleave, 2 frog cleave, and a boss cleave. So I'm going to go behind these guys and to the side so none of them hit me. And then we have deep cut again. So I'm going to go back to C, drop some ley lines. This fight's almost done, guys. This is going to be a great clear video if it clears. I don't know. I don't know if this clears. I wasn't there. You know what I mean? I wasn't there. You know? You think I was there? No way. So anyways, we get this this floor tiles thing again, and then we get quarter or eighth beats. Actually, we get both. Just remember your partner and kind of go to a quadrant together. That's all I can say is, like, remember your partner. Don't go to anybody else. The reason people mess this up is because they just grab a random person. They're like, you look good. No, don't do that. Focus, target your partner, and go find them. It's easy. And then it's an inside out, so we're going to go out, then we're going to go in. And then we're going to get eighth because we got quarter notes first, so we're going to spread here in a second as well. There it is, eighth beats. And my healer and I just got used to working together, and we knew to run in opposite directions, and that's what we did. Easy peasy. Celebrate good times, you know. Gonna have a raid wide. Nobody cares. And then we're gonna move on to another celebrate good times. This is pretty much it. We're done at this point. The fight is over. you just have to not mess up too much by the end. You can actually, there's a lot of mistakes here in this video and we still clear. There are also a lot of people using potions and pentamelds and whatever. I know I'm pentameld. I don't know if everyone else is. I think so. But look, that guy said 3 pots, right? So anyways, that's the fight. I know it was a mouthful. It's a fun one. And hopefully this day 1 PF guide can kind of help you pick a strategy that has a low margin of error and kind of reduces the amount of thinking you have to do. You just shut brain off, do what makes sense, although what makes sense is different for people, I know, but just automatically like try to minimize the margin of error, try to minimize the mistakes that people will make by removing the possibility as much as possible for them to make unnecessary mistakes by doing simple strategies, and that will increase PF success rate. But anyways, check out the other guys that come out about this, see what they say. There's going to be some really good strats, I'm sure, especially for uptime and parsing and stuff, and also more in-depth explanations than what I can offer. Anyways, that's all I've got for now. Until next time, this is them. See ya.